and welcome to Redstone Super Basics. In this video, I'm going to explain some things that are probably rather obvious, but I didn't understand them. Or at least they didn't come naturally to me. I didn't just obviously make the connection. Basics of Redstone is this here gives out a redstone signal to the blocks it's touching. This thing here, I should probably put it there to explain, receives a signal and does something with it. So, for example, if you put them together, as you saw, it extends when it's receiving the signal. The observer, however, watches directly in front of it. It watches this air block in front of it. And when that changes, like for example, if I plant a bit of bamboo in front of it, now that changed this block, not this one, so it didn't actually see that. But when it grows, it'll see that, and the signal is sent out to the blocks it's touching. So theoretically, because I've seen all the redstone videos, super simple, you use the observer to power the pistons, and then it collects things. Just like that. My collection system could use some work, but that's not important. It's still getting something. It's basic. But when I go to actually make it myself, it does nothing. And everything I know about it is, oh, now you grow. Convenient timing. What I know about it is this gives out a signal. In fact, I think I can even see it maybe if I fly. There we go. You see that little flash there? That was it seeing a signal. But for some reason, that didn't make the piston extend. And the difference, obviously, between the torch, you can't replace it with a torch because the torch will make it stick out and stay out. There we go. It's staying out now. And the one underneath it cannot grow because there's something directly above it. Here is the missing piece, the one that didn't come naturally to me, is redstone dust can carry a signal. See, this redstone is lit up, and this redstone is not. As soon as I connect them, they are. That's how it works. So while the torch can power the piston on its own, no problem, for some reason, that is annoying, that's supposed to make the rain stop, right? There we go. For some reason, in order to make the signal go from the observer to the piston, which it's touching, so logically it should go through, but it needs some form of transport. So now, its signal goes into the redstone, which goes into the blocks it's touching, including the piston. And bam, does the job. So what you need back here is, now also they're next to each other. You could not have a single observer for each thing, because with the line of redstone, one observer would power them all. For now, this one here powers all these, which saves on resources if you're in survival, and collects that for you. This block down here is not completely necessary, except for placing the pistons, as I've shown here where I removed it, And in this one, I made the whole thing out of glass because I wanted you to be able to see how it works. Just like the others, the kelp grows as soon as this line here grows in front of the observer, like so, it breaks. The water pushes it into the hoppers, goes across the line of hoppers and into the chest. And this block here is because it is not a full block, the chest is able to open. If you put a full block there and the chest doesn't open, that's where you've gone wrong, and I've thrown that. Get that back. Well, it's not important. But back here, this does not work if it is on glass. I don't know why, I don't know what the specific mechanic in the coding is, but it needs to be on a block that is not glass. I know for a fact dirt works. And it's getting dark again. So yes, little line of redstone on the dirt, and they will power all of them in a line. This will not work forever, because the redstone signal only goes so far. Here you see it's getting lighter until there's nothing. So I guess probably up to around here you can have is enough to make a line of pistons. After that, I think a repeater can extend it, but I don't know the specifics. I haven't played around with it. But I've only done 4. I think that's a pretty good number if you're planning to AFK somewhere, or even just have this in the background while you're working on the base. Say you're building a house right here. As long as you're close enough to load the chunks, it's going to do its thing and give you lots of bamboo. But I find 4 is good because it's enough that it's not nothing. It's not a pitiful amount. But it's not one of those crazy giant things you see all over the place. Then the collection systems. This one is rather simple. The water pushes it into the hoppers. I said that. This, despite not being a full block, it's still able to stop the water, which stops it from falling out and creating a big mess. I find this one is pretty much the best because it's pushing it into the hoppers, whereas the others over here, the bamboo likes to hang out nearby. But at least some gets into the chest, so maybe if you just put blocks around, like if this whole thing was blocked in and the bamboo had nowhere to go, I'm not sure how you'd make sure it didn't land on top of this, but if it had nowhere to go but here, it would fall on the hoppers. This one, most likely to fall in the water, have a guess. And the sign, if you're not aware, I just cleared the weather. Sign, if you're not aware, also stops the water. Now you can waterlog this, so if you get a bucket of water and right click there, it'll go straight into that. I'm not sure if you can waterlog signs, I don't think so. But either way, unless you waterlog it, it's going to hold the water back. Technically this doesn't need to be here because you can still reach the chest no problem. But I just found it looked cooler. In fact, technically you can leave it like that, but you need to break it to get to the chest every now and then. Or you could have some underground place you go to collect it all. This one is the same thing, only above water, basic line of hoppers. Now, what I didn't explain over there is hoppers have a direction. See, I'm looking at this block here. So when I right-click to place the hopper, this tiny little bit at the bottom is pointing at the block that was highlighted. Over here, this block to the side is highlighted, and instead of going straight down like that one, goes across. So if there's a chest there, it'll go into that one, whereas that one will only fill a chest directly underneath it, and this one will not fill a chest underneath it. Now, of course, if you right-click a chest, it opens. So this is also rather simple, but just in case you didn't get it, hold Shift and right-click, and it will place it without interacting with the block. Which you can also open the hoppers, so that is how you make a line of hoppers, including that one out to the side for some reason, which goes straight down. Regardless, that is the basics of a collection system, how to place hoppers, how to hold the water back, and most importantly, to transmit the signal to the pistons. I hope that helped anyone who didn't automatically pick that up. So, goodbye. If I come up with something else that I think might not automatically come to someone, I guess I'll put it up here. But if not, I have no idea if I will ever post another video.